Do you happen to have any part of yourself that you wish you could change? I think most people do, you know? Some people wish they weren't 30 pounds overweight, and they wish they were slimmer so they didn't have to hide their fat with their clothes, you know? Some people wish they had bigger muscles so they could fill out a shirt. Some people wish they had more hair. Some people might wish they had a different nose, and so they, want to go get a plastic surgeon to work on their nose, for example. Well, my thing is these under eye bags that you can see in these videos. Sometimes I can get the light just right and you don't see them, but there are a lot of weeks I look at these videos and go, oh, look at those under eye bags. Those are terrible. Well, I'm 55 and I guess they're just going to get worse. But I decided a few weeks back that I was going to buy this special eye cream that I had seen online. And it supposedly was going to help men who had these under eye bags, and all you had to do was use it faithfully and they'd go away. And so when I got it in the mail, I was like, good, I spent $65 on this tube of stuff. It's about like that, and I started using it, and I thought surely in 2 or 3 days, maybe a week tops, these under eye bags would just disappear, no dark wrinkles. Yeah, they're still there. I wasted my $65. I still use it because I still have it and it smells good, but it's not working. And so you know what I do? I put the stuff on my face. I've always done this, and put a little lotion on, and then I take some concealer and I rub it underneath my eyes. I tell my wife, I was like, I've got to do my hair and makeup. Just trying to do anything to get those under eye bags to be a little less noticeable. That's vanity, Well, we all have things on the outward part of us that we wish looked different, most likely. But what's really important is what's on the inside, what's in our heart. This outward part is wasting away, but the inside is supposed to be renewed day by day. And I think about how Jesus said, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. And I think about where I was about 5 or so years ago, and I was probably in the best physical shape of my life. I had run long distances. I was running at a very fast pace. I was as healthy as I'd ever been, and I was as slim as I had ever been. But you know what? The interior portion of my heart wasn't right. It wasn't pure. And I had all kinds of problems in there that eventually came out and hurt a lot of people and cost me some incredible consequences. Blessed are the pure in heart. We can do all the things we want to do. Paul even says physical training is of some value, but spiritual training has value for this life and the life beyond. And so we can work on the outside. We can have a few things nipped or tucked or whatever if you choose to do that. I have a friend whose wife is an esthetician, I think you call it. I don't know if I got that right, but I think so. And she does very well because she has a lot of customers who want to get Botox here or a little injection here or there. But at the end of the day, the most important part is what's in here, what's in your spiritual heart. And the reality is, if your spiritual heart isn't healthy and you aren't in that state of seeking God and asking Him to do a work in you so that there's a purity in your heart, eventually you're going to have problems, and maybe you're having problems now. I know that problems like I had, problems that I created, are not uncommon to people. If you're concealing, what's on the inside, you've got to bring it out. You've got to let God work on it. You've got to let God have it and let Him do a good work in you. And so if you want purity of heart, what do you need to do? Well, you need to confess your sins before God. You need to talk to Him and let Him know that you realize that you've got troubles in your heart. Ask Him to forgive you and ask Him to help you. You need to submit your heart completely to Him. Resist all those things that are bringing you down and away from God. Walk away from relationships, walk away from situations, walk away from a job even, whatever it might be that's drawing you down and away from God. You've got to make the tough decision that you have to cut that out of your life. I remember when I committed my sins and I was talking to my son, Sam, and I was telling him what I had done. He said, Dad, Jesus said that we need to cut off our hand or gouge out our eye if it's causing us to sin. And I said, Sam, I believe I've done that. And I'll never forget what he said. He said, you got to keep cutting. Because he knew that I hadn't really gotten to the root of the problem yet. But if you go before God and maybe you need to seek some counseling, you can get the help you need. And over time, this whole thing, whether you're beautiful like some people or you look like me, this is all wasting away. But what's happening is then your heart would be getting renewed and restored, and there would be a transformation that would take place in you, and your heart will then begin to reflect the heart of God. Blessed are those who are pure in heart, for they shall see God. Purity of heart. Those who are, there's no double dealing, there's no hypocrisy. Blessed are the pure in heart. Blessed are those who are transparent, that what you see is what you get. Remember that? Flip Wilson used to say that when I was a kid on his show. What you see is what you get, when he was being Geraldine. And we need to be what you see is what you get kind of people. No hidden agendas, no motives, no nothing going on behind the scenes, no matter what you look at. Like Daniel, they looked at all of his situation. And in Daniel chapter 6, you see they were looking at his bank account records. They were looking at everything that he touched, and they said, you know what? We can't find anything here. This guy he's squeaky clean. He's a man of integrity and character. There's nothing here. We're going to have to find something associated with his God, or we're not going to get him. And so the reality is, people should be able to look in anything and everything you've got and find nothing, because you're pure in heart. I tell my wife all the time how beautiful she is. I'll tell her before she goes to work how beautiful she looks. And I've always thought she was beautiful. But you know what? She's more beautiful now than ever before. And what makes her beautiful is her heart. She has a beautiful, beautiful heart. And that is why I'm so drawn to her, because of what I see in her heart. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Go work on your heart, your spiritual heart before God. It's more important than anything. I'll keep walking with Jesus. You keep walking with Jesus. Let's keep getting closer to him, and I'll see you next week.